those 3 events helped me maybe to open my eyes and maybe I needed to change my mindset. Event number 1 was my annual broker re-signing with Susan McLean. And I got to tell you, I was not looking forward to this meeting. That first year, I think I sold 3 properties. And so I walked to the office that morning, and I was in full fight or flight mode. And guess which one it was? Ours candidate. Right? So I went into that meeting, and I got my just desserts. Susan said, get in, get out. Now, I know softer and kinder words were used, but the message was clear. I was squandering my opportunity. Event number 2 was the Mike Ferry event about 1.5 years ago. I don't know if you guys got a chance to go to that. Remember that first day he told everybody to come down from the back and sit towards the front? And then he kind of scanned through the crowd. And I was sitting in the middle towards the back, and I had on slacks and a button-down shirt. And he scanned through the crowd and clicked. Guess who he's looking at? And I remember turning my head and saying, is Mike Ferry really looking right at me? And I looked back up, and sure enough, he's looking right at me. And he said, why would you come to a professional real estate event not dressed like a professional? Right? I literally wanted to melt out of my seat and run away. So that night, I went to Goodwill, and I bought 10 ties. This is part of the Goodwill collection. Because Lord knows I couldn't afford any nice ties at 3 transactions a year, right? And so that always stuck with me. And the third event was a conversation that I had with my son. He was 12 at the time, he's 13 now, his name's Noah. And every night growing up, my mom used to sit on the edge of our bed and she would tell us a story. It was her way of instilling her values into us without beating us on the head with it. And so I'm sitting on the edge of my son's bed. He said, Dad, I want to fly to Mars. I said, what? He said, yeah, I want to fly to Mars. You know we're going to Mars. I want to be the first pilot that flies us to Mars. I said, no, you're a great student. You get all A's. I really believe that you can be the first pilot that flies us to Mars. And he leaned back and he put his hands behind his head and he looked at the ceiling. And his eyes got really big. I could imagine what he was thinking. He was thinking about the possibilities of his future. And that's when it hit me. Like a ton of bricks. A moment of clarity. The epiphany. In that moment, I realized that all the values my mom had instilled in me, all the values I was trying to instill in my son, I wasn't living my life in line with those values. I was failing my child. And we all say it. We say we love our children and we would do anything for them. But was I really? See, my dad had left at an early age, and it really left a huge hole in my heart. So I told myself when I became a parent, I would not be like him. I would do whatever it would take to be the best parent I could be. But I was failing, no. And I knew it. So I went to bed that night and I laid down. I broke down. I cried. I still get emotional about it when I talk about it because it means so much to me. At that moment, I knew it had to change. It all had to change. So I woke up the next morning and I got a piece of paper and a pen. I started writing down everything that I didn't like about myself, everything that needed to change. And I think I was on line 132. And another thing, Justin, I don't like the way you load the dishwasher. It's ineffective and it's got to change. Right? You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Great Dr. Phil and I guess I was just tired, dirty dishes. Right? So I started doing research and I started watching videos and reading how I could change my daily activities and my mindset. And I realized pretty quick, gosh, I got to fix my business. 3 properties a year is just not going to get it. I'm squandering this great opportunity. So I started taking inventory of my business tool belt, right? Didn't have 20 years of experience. I didn't have $20 million in sales. Didn't have a 4-year degree. Nothing about marketing. And my technology skills, for lack of a better word, sucked. So I started putting together some ideas and some thoughts of what I could do to maybe change some of the things that I was doing. And I came up with a couple of tools pretty quick that I thought to myself, you know what, with these two tools, by the way, they're free, if I take these two tools and I leverage them, I really push it and I leverage them to their maximum, maybe, just maybe, I got a shot. And the two tools I was going to use was going to be attitude and effort. My attitude is going to be 100% positive 100% of the time. And my effort was going to actually put gas in my car and go out and create real relationships with clients and put in the effort for 60 days. And I was just going to see what happened. Because obviously before what I was doing was not working. Right? The year before I sold 3 properties. In 3 weeks I had 7 contracts. And I said, whoa, what's going on here? I never believed really in the power of mindset, the power of positivity. You give back what you put out, you reap what you sow. But yet when I applied it in my life, the results were irrefutable. So slowly my snowball started to grow. And my confidence level started to come. And I started to think to myself, well, gosh, if I could do that, maybe I could do that. Well, if I can do that, boy, I bet you I can do that. Right? And I started swinging for the fences, and the results I was getting was amazing. I couldn't believe it. So now I see myself successful in real estate. I see myself on a real estate team. I see myself creating my own sales system and taking it nationwide. And I envision myself surpassing Mike Ferry's global sales figures. All because he told me at his seminar that I was underdressed. Right? So it doesn't matter where you get the motivation. But the point is you got to find a reason, and my reason was my son, and my love for my son is what I wanted to change. Right? And so the last thing I want to leave you with, because I know we're all hungry, is just a story. Every year, we used to go to Holland State Park and go camping. And older brother, younger sister, mom, it was a big event of the year. You have a lot of dollars growing up. Go camping on the cheap, fishing, swimming, campfires. And I was in charge of the campfire. Everybody knew it. I would go in the woods and gather all the little firewood and get the kindling and that big long poker stick, walking around like Moses, right? And I would tend to the fire. I just wouldn't let anybody throw a log on the fire willy-nilly. If you wanted to put a log on the fire, we have a 4-page application. We felt you were the right client or the right fit, you could put a log on the fire. And so we'd sit around at the end of the night and we'd toast marshmallows, and then the fire would kind of die down. And we would go to bed. But in the morning, I would wake up and go, ooh, the fire, right? And I'd get my poker stick and I'd go back out to the fire pit and I'd look down and there'd be a pile of ashes. And I would take the poker stick and I would brush those ashes back, right? And what do you think I would see down there? I would see those coals and those embers underneath. And it always amazed me how they would stay lit all night long, sometimes even through the rain. So I would brush the ashes back and add a little bit of kindling, a little bit of oxygen. And before I knew it, that fire would come roaring back. Those coals, those embers are inside of all of us in the form of spirit. And sometimes life, in time, and the remnants of spent fuel will start to accumulate ashes over our fire. But if you decide to brush those ashes back, and it's a decision, if you decide to brush those ashes back, if you decide to add kindling, if you decide to add oxygen, that fire, that spirit will come roaring back. Take it from me, I'm a living, breathing example that a broken, battered, beaten, almost extinguished spirit will come back. So today, hear me when I tell you, today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, I do not want you to choose ashes, I want you to choose fire. But you got to decide. And so I hope that you And as I leave Indiana to fly back to Jacksonville, where my new home is, First Coast in Ponte Vedra. You guys know anybody in Florida? Love. I just want to have a very special thanks to Mick and the whole family of Century 21. And I'm only going to ask one thing. I'm going to ask one favor as I leave my family, that you actively search and find battered, beaten, broken spirit, and you do for them what you did for me. Thank you, guys.